History is waiting for the next great inventor of our time, as is a supremely hefty bank account. All you need is the right idea and some elbow grease. Luckily, I've put together some of the best, most promising ideas for you. In no particular order, here are some of the ideas that could change the world, and for which the inventor is likely to become the wealthiest person alive. Number 10. Human augmentation. It's a harsh, natural fact that human bodies fail sometimes. But from a business perspective, this is just a huge market waiting to be tapped into. By developing technology to replace and augment human body parts, be it a synthetic biological approach or entirely robotic, you could provide a service that improves millions of lives, while making yourself incredibly rich, of course. Similarly, a type of human augmentation that would allow the user to interface directly with technology would be totally revolutionary. The ability to perform tasks on a device with just the power of thought would eliminate the need for a clunky keyboard and mouse, or even a touchscreen. The tools are already beginning to be developed, with thought-controlled limbs and the like. Researchers have even created a brain-machine interface advanced enough to enable a monkey to control a robot arm with its brain. If you can master this technology, make it profitable, marketable, and culturally acceptable, you'll be in for a massive windfall of cash and see its full revolutionary potential. Consider how Apple recently reached a market value of $1 trillion by becoming the world-leading smartphone company. If you become the Steve Jobs of thought-operated tech or bionic replacements, trillions may await you too. Number 9. Forever Young. Immortality. It's the foundation of countless fantasy and sci-fi stories, but could it be a reality? The anti-aging industry currently includes cosmetic products, plastic surgeries, and various therapies. Its market value is estimated to reach over $300 billion by 2021, and you can bet your bottom dollar that if you invented something as revolutionary as the cure to aging itself, you'd be a trillionaire. In a world of ever-increasing vanity, you'd have no trouble finding millions of customers willing to give you massive amounts of money for such a service or product. It would, however, require the development of advanced science and technology, and you'd have to be a genius to find the solution anyway. To truly halt aging, you would need to stop senescence, the biological cause of aging, which is no easy feat. To make it profitable too, it would have to be either renewable or permanent, and be affordable enough for at least the rich, if not most people, to be able to afford. Perhaps there is a miracle compound or pill out there just waiting to be found, which can achieve these amazing results. Number 8. Energy storage. Even the best, most advanced systems we have today can barely crack 85% efficiency in terms of storing energy. A top-tier hydroelectric dam is nearly 80% efficient on average, which is amazing. But even with our best, nearly 1/5 of the energy we generate is lost. Almost every energy company and government in the world would be willing to empty their pockets to pay you for a way of storing energy with near-complete efficiency. The United States alone spends over $1 trillion a year on energy, and the energy industry is one of the richest due to constant demand. So the potential for profit, should you be genius enough to invent such a thing, is enormous. More efficient energy storage means more energy available for cheaper, as long as your invention is affordable. So you're dealing in enormous potential for humanity. You'd need to invent the superior storage technology, and if you could create superior energy generation technology while you're at it, you could become a global powerhouse. If sufficiently advanced, you could make Earth's energy industry your own personal monopoly to the tune of several trillion dollars. Number 7. Miracle cure. In recent years, the United States has been spending about $3.5 trillion every year on healthcare. A significant portion of this is spent treating people who cannot be cured. But what if you developed a medicine or technology that would work with everyone and cure all ailments? Even getting 10% of the United States healthcare budget alone would give you $350 billion, without counting other sources of revenue from the worldwide market. With a universal cure, perhaps in the form of nanobot technology or gene editing tools, demand would never be an issue, especially if you were able to undercut all other medicinal companies. This would require massive, amazing advancements in treating diseases, understanding them, and distributing cures and treatments. But a universal treatment would mean a global shift and immediate unilateral reliance on your product. Just don't forget who gave you the idea once you're a godlike medical super dictator. Number 6. Synthetic meat. The value of the meat industry is predicted to rise to over $1.5 trillion by 2022, but concerns about its devastating environmental impact and the welfare of animals are driving many to seek alternatives. Surprisingly, that annoying militant vegan everyone knows could end up being the spark of inspiration for your own mega riches. Synthetic meat is possible, and lab trials have been done, but we can only currently grow synthetic meat in small batches. Plus, it's expensive. If you could develop a way to construct it easily, more profitably, and more sustainably, you could find yourself dominating the meat industry. It's expensive to create lab-grown meat. Right now, a lab-grown hamburger patty costs about $11 to produce, whereas a traditional patty is only around $1. But that price is down a considerable amount. In 2013, it cost $325,000. It's predicted that in just a few more years, the eggheads in white coat kitchens will be able to get it down to the same price as natural beef or even cheaper. Can you beat them to it? There's a fortune waiting for you if you do. Number 5. It's a match. The pace of a working life makes finding the perfect partner difficult. But what if, through technology, you could be automatically matched with someone who perfectly fits you in every way? Sure, sci-fi approaches like those in Black Mirror paint this in a negative light, but think about it for a second. Using technology to comprehensively analyze each individual, you could effectively eliminate clashes in outlook, personality, or aspirations that often arise in regular relationships. The first person to make this kind of technology would not only be able to cash in on the near $3 billion current value of the dating industry, but also wider applications like job recruitment and community building. But you'd need to develop an incredibly advanced understanding of the brain, personalities, and social interactions, which would require substantial AI and computing power. But there are so many applications for this that if you created a universal resource, you could find yourself triggering a revolution of human connection and efficiency, and revolutionary ideas equal the biggest bucks. Number 4. Wireless electricity. The idea of wireless power has been around since Nikola Tesla, but only recently has it started to become a reality. But at the moment, it's expensive, low power, and inefficient, restricted to phone charging pads and bulky power emitters. The global energy industry is humongous, over $1 trillion globally and over $200 billion in the United States alone. You could get a huge chunk of this yourself by changing the landscape of the power industry. The idea of wireless power is so great because it cuts out on a lot of physical overhead, namely power lines and every other type of machinery necessary to keep all of this infrastructure going. Replacing those with small power emitter units, you could reduce costs and space while providing widespread power with ease. People would never need to plug in their phones again, instead charging them automatically as they walk down the street. You'd need to create a faster, stronger, more efficient version of wireless power than what's currently available, without it being a health hazard in its method of energy transfer. It would have to be easy to use, secure, profitable, and constructed from common materials so it could be widespread and integrated into large-scale power grids. If you could crack it, you'd have customers flailing over each other, from governments to non-profits to companies trying to colonize other planets. Another revolution awaits. Number 3. Superfast travel. Judging by Virgin's Hyperloop, which once completed is expected to take customers from Los Angeles to San Francisco in 36 minutes, superfast, clean travel is the future. Whether you approach it from the magnetic levitation, vacuum tunnel approach of the Hyperloop, or supersonic jets, superfast travel technology has all the markers of a dominating force to be. You would have to overcome struggles with air resistance and energy efficiency, as well as resistance from current transport industries. In time, though, replacing other forms of public transport could leave you very wealthy indeed. Considering the global railroad market's projected size of $800 billion by 2025, as well as the $260 billion annual revenue enjoyed by Volkswagen alone, it's easy to see how this path is paved with gold. If you could make your transport comfortable, accessible, and safe enough to become the universal preference, you could create a global industry. Leaving cars as nothing more than the hobby of enthusiasts would do the planet a lot of good too. Number 2. Save and print. There are few global problems that couldn't be solved by a super advanced universal 3D printer. By stocking a high-tech, high-speed 3D printer with reserves of essential atomic particles, you could produce parts for machinery at a fraction of the price, turn dirty carbon byproducts into delicious food, or even body parts. You could construct objects from the molecules outward, and with this level of technology, almost anything is possible. If you could improve current bioprinting technology to a point of printing meat, limbs, or even organs, you could solve many of the world's major problems, and hence secure yourself an enormous guaranteed market. People everywhere could go out to work and return to their 3D printed dinner, or new printed appliances. By establishing blueprint deals with product designers, you could eliminate the need for shopping and shipping. Imagine being able to purchase the new PS10 on your lunch break and returning home to find it printed and ready to go. The global logistics market is projected to be worth $15 trillion by 2023, so if your home printing methods became the universal replacement of delivery services, you could hack substantial multi-trillion-dollar chunks out of that market. Now for a slightly controversial honorable mention before the #1 idea: designer babies. In 2018, the first edited infants were born. 2 Chinese babies, female twins, were edited for HIV resistance, and despite the ostracization of the scientists behind it, it appears to have been a success. There are moral issues to developing a widely available service for this purpose. If the technology is only affordable to the rich, the wealth gap will become biological as well as economic, which is a terrifying thought. The children of the super rich would be smarter, faster, stronger, taller, live longer, and generally superior in every single way to those of the poor. But whether you made it expensive, targeting the rich with super high prices, or made it affordable and cashed in on the much broader general populace, there'd be huge amounts of money awaiting. If you could overcome ethical barriers, it's likely that millions, if not billions, would pay to ensure their modified child was intelligent, attractive, and resistant to things like addiction and disease. This is a numbers game. 130 million babies are born every year, and that rate isn't likely to change anytime soon. If you could tap into even a tenth of that, charging anywhere from $5,000 to $500,000 per edited fetus, you could make anywhere from $65 billion to $6.5 trillion annually. #1. Asteroid mining. There are millions of asteroids in our solar system, and some of them are hundreds of miles in diameter, loaded with hundreds of millions of tons of precious metals. We're talking gold, platinum, nickel, iron, copper, and more, all extremely useful and in dwindling supply on Earth. 16 Psyche, one of the largest asteroids in the solar system, is made up of mostly iron. NASA has estimated its potential value as more than hundreds of trillions of dollars. It's enough iron to satisfy our demand for it for several million years. The 40 largest Earth-side mining companies turned over $600 billion of revenue in 2017. Not bad, but experts predict that asteroid mining could become a trillion-dollar industry as soon as the 2030s. To facilitate this, advanced rocketry is a must. It's too expensive to leave and enter Earth's orbit as yet for commercial space mining to be profitable. You'd need more efficient reusable rockets and a more efficient way to gather the material in order to get the valuable materials back to Earth in the first place. But while difficult, these are problems of innovation rather than impossibility, and all signs point to the fact that pretty soon it will be a reality. For instance, we could tow asteroids into safe orbits around the Earth and mine them there relatively inexpensively, but act fast while demand is still high. If you do, you could well become the richest person on Earth, and maybe even the solar system. Which future cash cow industry appeals to you? Are you working on it? Or do you have other genius ideas to make yourself the richest person in the world? Let me know in the comment section down below, and thanks for watching.